So function P models the monthly profit, P of X, a company earns from making and selling X units. There is the equation of this. I don't think that we need to type it into Desmos, because what we're doing is we're going to be answering a couple of questions about this. And luckily that we have a drop-down box. So it says the company's monthly profit will be exactly 0 if it makes and sells. Well, let's look at our options. If it makes and sells either 40 or 100 units, because that's a 0 or a root of the function. The company will make a profit if it sells between 40 and 100. More than a 40 units, but less than 100 units, we're going to make a profit. The graph is above the x-axis then. But it won't make a profit if it makes and sells more than 100 units. Because more than 100 is below the x-axis. So we're going to have a negative value, which means that we're going to be experiencing a loss. In problem number 12, we're also answering questions here about this. And this one should be interesting because I do want to write on some notebook paper. But it says, consider the graph of the 6th degree polynomial function. And then it says, replace the values b, c, and d to write function f. So I'm going to go back and forth for a minute. But what we have here, you can't see it on my paper yet. There we go. Going back to the picture, is I see that our roots are x equals -1, x equals 1, and x equals 4. So x equals -1, x equals +1, and x equals 4. Well, when we look back here at -1, I hope you recognize the U-shaped curve. And what that means is that that's the quadratic. So when we replace it, again, our choices, or what the screen tells us, is we want it in that format of x minus b times x minus c squared times x minus d. Well, this is going to be x minus, again, the value that I'm using is -1. -1 squared. So then we go over here to our picture, and I'm going to look at 1. Well, this simply crosses the x-axis. So that's going to be our b value, because when we touch, like we touched over here at -1, we have a multiplicity of 2. When we cross, we have a multiplicity, an odd multiplicity, I should say. So this is going to be x minus 1. The reason that I put it there, again, is because it just crossed. And when you look at this last one, at x equals 4, when I put that back in, we only have one place to go, so it's going to go in for d here. So this is going to be x minus 4 cubed. And I can write that just a little bit better here. It's going to be x minus 1 times x plus 1, because double negative gives us a positive, squared, and x minus 4 cubed. Once again, as I put this down, I just want to point out, oh, darn it, the sideways s, which means that it's a cubic polynomial.